Yo, it's NYC. Welcome back to the channel. This is CBNYC, and you're watching NCBD with CBNYC. So I wasn't able to get this show out last week because of the Thanksgiving holiday. Hope everybody had a restful and fruitful Thanksgiving, family, food. I know I did, so but I am excited to be back. And headed towards the March to Christmas. So I am going to show both the new books that I picked up last week when I was out, and also the new books I picked up this Wednesday from Midtown Comics. Now, before I get started, a bit of a lighter haul than usual. Last week, because of the holidays, was a lighter release week, so there weren't many releases in general out. And then this week, it's a little bit of a lighter haul because for the month of December, for the first time, I used previews to essentially buy the bulk of my books, well in advance. Like almost 2 months ago, I put together, almost my entire month of December as far as new books, and I opted to wait all the way till the end of the month to keep things absolutely the cheapest. So a lot of the titles that I know I read on a regular basis, whether it's ASM, Batman, some Star Wars titles, Venom, a lot of the Hickman books, the X books, a lot of those I'm gonna have to wait for the physical copies for the end of the month, which is a new experience for me. That said, here and there I am buying a few of them digitally, or double dipping, if you will, so that I don't fall too far behind on the reads and the conversations around it. But I'm not going to show a physical book on an iPad, or a digital book on an iPad rather. So I will sort of specify that as we go the next few weeks doing this video series. So bear with me as I go through that experiment, because it is a brand new one for me. But I would also like to encourage you to please leave a like and comment on this video. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Comic Books NYC. So I'm going to just combine last week and this week as we go through the categories to the best of my ability. We like to start here with indie pickups. And, last week, very light as far as what was coming out. Didn't really have anything indie on my radar, and I didn't really have anything indie on my radar this week, frankly. So it's been a bit of a dry spell for, new comic book day and the indie books that I'm interested in. I did find a couple other indie books, not new books, but older indie books out in the wild, that I paid only like $1 for, those kind of finds. But I'm not going to show them here because it's not really a haul video. This is a new comic book day pickup video, so I'm going to keep to just the books I picked up. So we'll move on. We'll go to DC pickups. So last week, during that lighter release week, I only had one DC pickup, and that's John Constantine Hellblazer #1. Sandman Universe got the black label now associated with it, and I have not read it yet, so I don't really know what else to say about it. But if you did read this a week ago or more recently or whenever you read it, let me know what you think of this. I am excited to check it out. And then this week, I only picked up one DC book as well, and that one would be this one. $1 comic book. This is DC Dollar Comics, Birds of Prey #1. So haven't really read any Birds of Prey. There is a movie coming out that I'm not that excited about, but I will definitely go see it and support it when it comes out. But I figured, hey, maybe just pay $1 and read a Birds of Prey story if I feel like it. So here it is, Birds of Prey #1, Dollar Comics. And then we'll switch over to the Marvel pickups from last week and this week, starting with last week. Last week, for me, this was the biggest book of the week. I had to actually read it digitally while I was away out of town, and then I got back in town to pick up my pull, and we're talking about Venom number 20. Donny Cates continues to blow me away on anything Venom or Carnage related. This essentially acts as the epilogue to the end of Absolute Carnage number 5, which was the end of the miniseries, but technically this is still an Absolute Carnage tie-in, as it says up here in the trade dress. And I thought this was just a fantastic issue. I really enjoyed this issue. I did hear some people had issues with this book, probably more for like, you know, spec reasons than anything else. But from an actual storytelling standpoint, I was pretty content with this issue. Really looking forward to issue number 21. Also came out last week, three X books. So I did pick those up. New Mutants number 2. Thoroughly enjoyed this. This is also a really fun book so far. X-Force number 2. I really like this book also. I think Ben Percy's doing a great job, and it really bodes well for the Wolverine solo ongoing series that he's going to be launching next year as well. So X-Force number 2, definitely enjoyed that book. And this book has definitely been a surprise. I really did enjoy issue number 1, and I enjoyed issue number 2 as well. Maybe not as much as issue number 1, but still did enjoy this read right here. So I didn't think I would be continuing to pick this up beyond issue 2, but I might still do that, whether I do it digitally or through previews, like so I can save some money on it. I haven't yet decided, but that's it. So, you know, last Wednesday, pretty light week, just 4 total books, really, or 5 total books, rather. And that's it. So I definitely have some catching up to do. But as far as this week goes, I did pick up a few more. But obviously, this week was my first week dabbling into waiting on certain books with the whole preview situation. So my haul is kind of weird because I got a whole bunch of True Believers and then some like variants and whatnot, and not many actual new books that I'm reading. So we'll just start right out with the $1 books, the True Believers. So I got a whole bunch of $1 True Believer Star Wars books using, you know, from the original Marvel run. They're essentially just reprinting a whole bunch of the old school Star Wars issues. Now, I don't know which issue is in each of these off the top of my head. They do tell you what issue it is on the first page, but you know, they give them their own titles and whatnot. So this is True Believer Star Wars Hut Run. You got Jabba, Chewie, and Han right there. You got Star Wars True Believers Death Probe. Right there. Star Wars True Believers According to the Droids. This is reprinting a book from the Droids series, not the main Star Wars title series. And then we got Star Wars. This is from Legends. This is the Hunter True Believers Star Wars. And then finally, we got Star Wars Vader versus Leia, the Third Law. So all those were just $1 Star Wars True Believers pickups. Then I did also pick up the 2 of the X books from this week. But the other 2 that came out, the other one that came out, I ordered via previews, so I have to wait for the physical copy. But I did get it digitally so I can read it. So X-Men number 3 was the other book that I ordered through previews. So I have to wait for the physical, but I'm going to read it digital. But the 2 that I did pick up this week were Marauders number 3, because for whatever reason I didn't order Marauders 3 through previews, and Excalibur number 3. I didn't order that through previews. So they either didn't see them when I was doing the preview order, or I didn't yet know I was going to be committing to picking these up, because that was still when House of X and Powers of 10 was like early, for that, and I didn't really know how much I was going to like it. But yeah, so happy to pick those up. Have not read those yet. Looking forward to reading those, definitely. I have read all issue number 2s for all those series, but now that they're getting into the 3rd issues, I gotta, pick up the pace and catch up again. So I got, and then I'm going to end the haul with 2 variants. One is this Greg Land variant for Absolute Carnage number 5. So I just picked up the A cover the week that this book came out, and I thought I would just be content with the A cover. But when I was, seeing this one on the shelf, I was just like, you know what, I want that one. So I got it. I got suckered into it from just the shelf appeal. So grab that one. That's the Greg Land variant for Absolute Carnage number 5. And then I got another variant for Absolute Carnage number 5. This is that local comic shop day version. I believe this is Ryan Stegman who did this one. But there you go. Absolute Carnage number 5, local comic shop day variant. I see a lot of people have posted this on Instagram the week that it came out, or the weekend that it came out for local comic shop day. I wasn't able to go hunting that weekend for various reasons, and this was they still had a bunch of copies of this in mint condition on the shelf at Midtown downtown. So grab that as well. Pretty happy to get that one to further flesh out my completionist, maybe not all the way completionist, but partial completionist efforts on the Absolute Carnage series, which I've been absolutely loving. So yeah, that's it, guys. Just a few books. I mean, like I said, I switched to previews recently. This is my first week kind of figuring things out as a collector, having to wait so long for some of these new books that I'm usually reading every 2 weeks. Like Amazing Spider-Man 35, for example, came out yesterday, and I didn't take home Amazing Spider-Man 35 from the shop. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for Batman 84. I'm waiting for Die number 10. I'm waiting for Old Man Quill number 12. I'm waiting for Venom 2099 one shot. I'm waiting for XMen number 3. Waiting for a bunch of other books. This week, next week, and the week after are going to be a little different for me as a collector because I'm not used to that. But some of them I've been double dipping, like I said, on digital, so I can just read them. That's going to be, it's going to be hard for me to avoid that temptation so I can stay up to date on the stories. But overall, I think switching to previews for books that I know are solidly sort of on my pull list is a good thing because it just saved me so much money, honestly. From the percentage off the book to, having it only all be at the end of the month in one shipment. I am definitely saving a lot by doing that. So that was kind of the idea was, okay, let's save a lot of money, but let's see how this goes as far as like my comfort level, as far as keep staying on top of these stories, maybe switching to digital for some stories and not others, maybe double dipping on a few titles by using the previews to pre-order the physical book, but still getting a digital copy so I can read it that week type thing. So it's going to be a few weeks of experimentation so that once 2020 starts, I kind of know what I'm going to be doing as far as my strategy with new books. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. If you can leave a like and comment, like I mentioned earlier, I would much appreciate that. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to Comic Books NYC, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you need to get a hold of me, just hit me up, comicbooksnyc@gmail.com, and we'll see you next time.